It is definitely way too early to redraft the 2021 NFL Draft, but there were definitely some mistakes made early on in this draft and throughout the entire thing. So today we're gonna go back in time just a couple years, and we're gonna try to make sure that these teams make the right pick, at least in my opinion, so far in these players' careers. But super quick, we very easily hit the like goal on the last video, so let's see if we can get to 200 likes on this video, and if we can hit that, I'll do another one of these redrafts, maybe 2018. I think that's the last one I haven't done other than 2022, so be sure to drop a like, it really does help out. And thank you for 600 subscribers on the second channel, I very much appreciate it. And once we get to 1K, I'll have a very special video coming out here. I don't know what it's gonna be yet, but I'll come up with something. I always do. So be sure to subscribe if you want to be like a super OG of this channel, like first 1,000. Because if you like redrafts, that's all I'm doing. And once you're done with this video, you can go and watch like all the other ones I've done. And let me know what type of videos you would want me to do over here. Obviously, like no Madden, I saved that for the main channel, but just let me know. Football related stuff. But that's enough plugging, and without further ado, let's get into this redraft. So, I actually have a super controversial take to start off. I've said this take before, and I surprisingly didn't get that much backlash. We're gonna go with Trevor Lawrence, obviously, but I think Trevor Lawrence is a little bit overrated right now. I still think he's really good and will be really good, but I've seen people calling him like a top 5 QB. While this is what I said about him before, he still definitely looked like a rookie at some points last year, and everyone points to the playoff game against the Chargers where, oh, he brought him back from like a huge deficit. Well, he threw like 4 picks in that game, and he was kind of the reason they were down that far in a hole. So I do think he will be very good, and I do think he's like a top 10-ish QB, maybe like number 8 to 10, somewhere around there. I do think he will be good, but he definitely still has his flaws. And I know it's just preseason, but he didn't look great in the preseason game against backups, so I don't know. But it's preseason, so who cares? Anyways, obviously our first change here of the redraft is gonna be the number 2 overall pick. Now, again, with the preseason, Zach Wilson has looked good. Pretty damn good, actually. Mentoring is very underrated. Like, Aaron Rodgers, I thought there was a possibility this could happen where Aaron Rodgers could just absolutely save Zach Wilson. I kind of called it a little bit. And I know it's just preseason again, but Zach Wilson has looked like a completely different quarterback. However, we're not going to end up taking him here. There are a few different directions we could go here for the Jets. So the best players available that I have listed are Ja'Marr Chase, Christian Darrisaw, Creed Humphrey, Penei Sewell, Micah Parsons, and Pat Surtain. And honestly, there's an argument to be made for any of them except probably Pat Surtain, just because they already have so many good outside corners. I feel like it would be dumb to not take Micah Parsons here because he, in my opinion, is the best player in this class. They have so many edge players, though. I mean, their third stringers are like as good or better than a decent amount of teams' starters in Bryce Huff and Will McDonald. So maybe... Is it weird to not take Micah Parsons here? They just have so many. Yeah, I do kind of think it would be weird, but we're gonna do it anyways because he is such a good player. Probably a top 3 pass rusher in the NFL. I think he was the most efficient in the NFL last year in terms of like pressures per snap or pass rush snap. So even though the Jets have an embarrassment of riches at edge, we're gonna add one of the best, arguably the best in the NFL. Now, this is another very interesting one here at number 3. They obviously took Trey Lance here. I didn't love the pick at the time, but I gave it the benefit of the doubt because Trey Lance had a ton of upside, and I figured Kyle Shanahan would just make it work and turn him into a superstar, but that clearly hasn't happened. Lance has been hurt, and he hasn't been that good even when he's played. And plus, they can kind of just get away with, like, budget budgety players at QB. I mean, they rocked with Jimmy G for a while. They have Brock Purdy currently. Like, they have a unique luxury of having the most quarterback-friendly system of maybe all time. So we're not going to stress about it too bad. What I am going to stress about is this offensive line because it is abhorrent. Maybe it's weird to value center over tackle. It might be. Jake Brendel is actually a pretty good center. Let's go with Penei Sewell. He's like so far the fourth best lineman from this class, but he is still very good. And, you know, switching tackles sides isn't always great. I do think Darrisaw and Slater are slightly better, but not by much. And if Sewell's already a right tackle, we'll leave him there. And he's going to be the pick to the 49ers. Now, the Falcons at number 4. This one seems pretty straightforward, right? We're gonna take Ja'Marr Chase. Maybe shouldn't have even fallen to 4. I mean, there's an argument to be made for him for each of the last couple picks. Maybe not 1, because the Jags do have good receivers and they don't have a good QB besides Trevor Lawrence. So 2 is where you can start thinking about Ja'Marr Chase, but he's going at 4 to the Falcons, not because Kyle Pitts is a bad player at all, just because they don't really use him. At least they didn't this last year. And receiver is maybe this team's weakest position. Drake London very much surprised me last year, but outside of him, Mac Hollins is fine. Scotty Miller isn't great. I would be more comfortable with him as like a 4 or a 5. It's just Drake London, Mac Hollins, who is fine, and then a bunch of guys, and that's about it. So we're gonna add probably like a top 5 receiver in Ja'Marr Chase, or close to it. I don't think there would be many Falcons fans complaining about that. Who might be complaining about that is Bengals fans, as they get maybe their best player ripped away from them 1 pick before they go. But this pick is actually kind of a hard one to decide. I'm between really, I guess, 3 players. I still don't love the offensive line here. I mean, Orlando Brown, I think, is a little overrated. Cordell Volson was solid last year, but, like, he wasn't amazing. Ted Karras is fine. Alex Kappa's, like, solid. Jonah Williams isn't great. They do have La'el Collins, too, who isn't great anymore. I still don't like the offensive line here, but let's try to keep from downgrading too much at receiver, and let's go with Jalen Waddle. Still could be maybe the best receiving core in the NFL, even if you replace Ja'Marr Chase with Jalen Waddle. I'm not sure about that, but it would be close. And doing that, you would still have your speed guy now in Jalen Waddle, your go up and get it guy in T. Higgins, and then your slot guy in Tyler Boyd, so it works out. You have a very diverse receiving core still, so it definitely works out. Now another team getting screwed 1 pick before they go in the Miami Dolphins at number 6. And unfortunately for the Dolphins, they did have a very good draft this year. I mean, I guess fortunately for them in real life, but here that's not great because they'll be losing Jalen Waddle, Jalen Phillips, and Javon Holland. But I don't mind Malik Reed or Andrew Van Ginkel, so we might have to just go with a different receiver here, and that's going to be Amon-Ra St. Brown. Kind of something they don't have at receiver in like a pure slot guy. I guess you have Cedric Wilson, but I would say Amon-Ra St. Brown is a pretty big upgrade over that. So he is going to be the pick here. Now the Lions at number 7, they obviously took Penei Sewell here, and they obviously took Amon-Ra St. Brown in this draft. And they also took Aleem McNeil, so really there are a number of different directions we could go with this pick. You know, I want to go with Pat Surtain here, kind of, but their receiving core is like really bad if they don't have Amon-Ra St. Brown. They have Josh Reynolds, Marvin Jones, who are both fairly old. I mean, Marvin Jones is obviously a lot older, but they also have Jameson Williams, who's obviously suspended right now. Khalif Raymond is fine, but like, it's not great. But also losing Penei Sewell is not great. But you know, it is kind of a thin corner room, and Pat Surtain is my number 1 player on the board. I don't feel great about this, and you really could go either Surtain or Devontae Smith or like Christian Darrisaw or Rashawn Slater, whoever's better at right tackle. Any of those picks would be good here, and I would be fine with it. But let's go with Pat Surtain, or Surtain. I don't know why I say either or sometimes. I've heard it Surtain, I've heard it Surtain. It reads like Surtain. I don't know, either way. He's the pick here to the Lions. Now the Panthers at number 8, I didn't like them taking J.C. Horn over Pat Surtain, and that's definitely played out. But J.C. Horn was really nice this last year. He put up really good stats. I thought his stats were a little better than his play, but he was still good either way. But I mean, there's no real reason to mess with it here, because if you don't take J.C. Horn, I don't feel great about C.J. Henderson starting. Really has not developed into a good player at all. This could be another Devontae Smith landing spot, but this receiving core is so deep. So let's just keep J.C. Horn. Now the Broncos at number 9, another team that is suffering from a player of theirs getting taken. We could make like an alternate universe here where they don't have to trade for Russell Wilson and just take Justin Fields here and see how that goes, and just say, you know, imagine Justin Fields here, imagine Noah Fant back, maybe Shelby Harris back, a few other players from the draft picks they traded, and no more Pat Surtain. That could be an option, but let's not really do it like that because that's overly complicated. Another pick here where there isn't really a clear option. We could go with Tyson Campbell, who was very good last year for the Jags. We could go Greg Rousseau or Jalen Phillips if we wanted to, either of the Miami guys. I'm kind of liking the Creed Humphrey pick here, though. I mean, they have invested a lot into this offensive line this last offseason, and we'll see if it pays out, so we might not go with offensive line here. It might be a little early to justify taking, like, Tyson Campbell, so let's go with the athletic freak in Kyle Pitts. I mean, if he actually got used, he could be one of the better tight ends in the NFL, like top 5, top 3 even. Not that Russ really uses tight ends, but I feel like Kyle Pitts is a different kind of tight end, like a receiver pretty much, so maybe that would be different. I don't know. Either way, though, that is a fairly big upgrade. Not that Greg Dulcich or Adam Troutman are bad, but it is a big upgrade and could make that weapon group terrifying. And here with the number 10 overall pick, the Philadelphia Eagles, this might be the most straightforward pick so far. Let's go with Devontae Smith. I thought he was a steal here at number 10. In real life, he was like borderline my wide receiver 1 in this class. I liked Jamar Chase a little more, but I was very high on Devontae Smith. I even liked him more than Jalen Waddle. I wasn't a very big Jalen Waddle fan. I was surprised that he has become as good as he has, but I definitely see why because of the speed. So Devontae Smith is the pick there. Now at number 10, number 11 now for the Bears. We're just going to keep Justin Fields. Again, I thought that was a very good pick. Justin Fields is, how can I put this in a nice way? He's what all those like haha funny 13-year-olds that were probably racist said Lamar Jackson was like 3 years ago when everyone called him a running back. Justin Fields is actually that. Whereas Lamar Jackson was a very good runner and like a solid passer of the football, Justin Fields is a very good runner, but like is genuinely a really bad passer of the football. I do think he can and will develop his passing, but so far it hasn't been good. He definitely makes up for that with his running, but still, his passing isn't great, and it hasn't really developed since coming out of Ohio State, really at all. But just because they don't really have anybody else at QB, I mean, PJ Walker isn't like the worst backup, but still. We're gonna go with Justin Fields and hope he can still work on his passing. Even then, he's still a good runner, so there's some value to be had there. So he's gonna be the pick. Now the Cowboys at number 12, they get arguably the most screwed out of any team so far, losing Micah Parsons here. Either them or the Bengals losing Jamar Chase. Where the hell are the Cowboys? There they are. Edge definitely becomes kind of a problem for them if they lose Micah Parsons, though. And really, there aren't many other needs on this team. The Cowboys have a, like, elite roster. Like, insane. Unfortunately, they're held back by a pretty terrible head coach in Mike McCarthy, but this team is filthy. So I guess let's go with Greg Rousseau. Was very raw, but like very inexperienced coming out of college, and definitely has developed into a very good player in the NFL. Pretty underrated. Obviously not like in the conversation of where Micah Parsons is, but like a good player of his own, for sure. So it is a downgrade, but you still get a good player, so it's fine. Now the Chargers at number 13. You know, I'm surprised I haven't taken like any of the linemen except for Penei Sewell so far, but to be fair, just with these landing spots, it's kind of made sense. I'm sure there would be a trade up here at some point, but obviously we can't really do that here. So let's just go with Rashawn Slater. Obviously has been hurt a little bit, but is like probably a future top 3 left tackle in the NFL. So you definitely take that. I thought he was a steal at the time, and he has been so far. Now the Jets here at number 14. Let's just go with another offensive lineman here, and that is going to be Creed Humphrey. As a Seahawks fan, just kind of hearing his name hurts me because I very, very, very much wanted them to pick him where they took, God, I can't even remember his name. He's literally done nothing. D. Eskridge. But the Seahawks front office a lot of the time tries to get too fancy in the draft. Last year it did work out for them because they didn't get quite as fancy, but I don't know, I still don't love their drafting all the time. But anyways, Creed Humphrey's gonna be the pick here to the Jets. I guess you just move Connor McGovern outside to guard where he has played before. No more AVT, obviously. They do also have Joe Tippmann, but like I'd rather take a guaranteed, maybe best center in the NFL. Now the Patriots at number 15. We're just gonna stick with Mac Jones. I feel like he's really underrated right now. Was very good, or like definitely really solid his rookie year. I'll say good. And then this last year was not good because guess what? He had a defensive coordinator calling his offensive plays. So enough said there. Mac Jones is a solid quarterback, and you definitely feel good about getting that at 15. Now the Cardinals at number 16. Who did they even take here? Was it Zaven Collins? Yeah, it was. Well, they're going to be trying him out at edge now, which I think he was in college at Nevada. Wait, where did he go to? Tulsa. Why did I think Nevada? I'm a dumbass. Yeah, that hasn't really proved to be a great pick so far. Not that he's been like terrible, but not first round good. So let's go with an actual good proven edge, and that's going to be Jalen Phillips. I thought pound for pound, he might have been the best player in this entire class, and I genuinely mean that. It's just injuries were a big problem for him. Would I take him over like a lot of these players in this class? Definitely not, but as a prospect, he was insane, and he's been good in the NFL for sure, and could continue to grow even more. So he's going to be the pick here to Arizona. They just really do not have any good pass rushers, and outside of like QB and left tackle, it might be the most important position in football, maybe. So we're gonna get a good one there in Arizona, or in Jalen Phillips to Arizona. But the Raiders up here at number 17. Again, who did they take? I genuinely do not remember. Was it Merrick? No, it wasn't Merrick here. This wasn't the Leatherwood year, was it? No, that was like 2020. Who the hell did they take here? Okay, no, he was number 17. It was Alex Leatherwood. I absolutely hated that pick at the time, and obviously we all see how that went. I thought he was like a 4th round prospect, and yeah, he definitely played like an undrafted prospect. He was awful. He wasn't as bad when they played him at guard, which I thought that's where he should have been played, but still. Was definitely not even like 4th round worthy. They actually do lose a few players on defense from this class. Nate Hobbs, Trayvon Merrick, Divine Diablo, which is an elite name, obviously. I gotta say that every time I see him. So who is the best defensive player that I have left? Nick Bolton. I don't want to go linebacker. Javon Holland? Yeah, let's go with Javon Holland. I did like Trayvon Merrick slightly more, but it was very close, but Javon Holland has definitely been the better player so far. Safety isn't like the most valuable thing in the NFL, obviously, but either you go with him or you go with Isaiah Polamau and Marcus Epps, and I don't feel great about that. So let's go Javon Holland. You could also go Tyson Campbell, I guess. Trey Smith. So there were definitely some good players still left at positions of need, but it's going to be Javon Holland. Now, here's another back-to-back team getting their players stolen in the Miami Dolphins. We could go offensive line, tight end, edge, maybe, safety, even corner, because Xavier Howard and Jalen Ramsey are both kind of old, but at least they're both good for now. At least Ramsey. I don't know about Xavier Howard. He's kind of regressing a lot. I don't want Christian Darrisaw to last this long. He's too good to fall all the way here, which is exactly how I felt about him in real life. I don't know if he would be good at right tackle, but I think it's worth a shot because Austin Jackson isn't very good, to put it bluntly. So let's just go with Christian Darrisaw. Either way, like, you should be getting an upgrade and a big upgrade. Maybe Teron Armstead can play right tackle. I don't know. Either way, I mean, that's your blind side for Tua. He's a lefty, obviously, so that's a very important spot right there. So either Darrisaw can fill that or Teron Armstead can fill that, and hopefully they would be good. And getting out in the first round with Amon-Ra St. Brown and Christian Darrisaw would be very nice for the Dolphins, even though they do lose Jalen Waddle and Jalen Phillips. Now the Commanders at 19, I think they took Jamin Davis here. Yeah, we're not going to do that. Taking linebacker first round is so smooth brain. I'm sorry, but it is. It's just fucking stupid. Unless you're getting like Micah Parsons, but he was a pass rusher, so that's not really the same thing. I'm talking like off-ball linebacker. They do lose some players: Benjamin St-Juste, Derek Forrest, Jamin Davis, Sam Cosmi. None of them are like superstars, obviously, but they're all like starters, I guess. Derek Forrest is probably the best out of that group, maybe Cosmi. So let's just get an upgrade on a not great offensive line, and let's go with Trey Smith. I thought it was ridiculous that he fell to like the 5th round to the Chiefs. I thought he was like a 2nd round prospect at worst, and he's definitely been pretty good for the Chiefs. Is he the one who had a heart condition? No, it was blood clots, that's right. So like, I mean, he was even fine after that, so it's like, I don't really see why he fell. He was a 6th round pick. Oh my god. Dude, I would have taken a chance on him in like the 3rd, even with those medical concerns. So I don't know. Either way, the Commanders get a good right guard here in Trey Smith. Could also go Pat Freiermuth here, but like, you know, I don't feel great about Aaron Montero starting at right guard. I barely even know who that is, or like Chris Paul. I've heard good things about Chris Paul, but like still. They also have oh god, this interior without Sam Cosmi is bad. So yeah, that's, I feel good about that pick now. We'll rock with old Logan Thomas for a few more years. Could also go AVT, but I just straight up like Trey Smith a little more. I think AVT's a little overrated. He's still good though. But the Giants at number 20, was this where they took Kadarius Toney? I'm pretty sure. That's not great. Was Isaiah Hodgins in this class? No, I think he was older than that. They lose Azeez Ojulari, but like, he hasn't been like amazing in his career so far. Let's actually go with Tyson Campbell to the Giants here to make that a really good trio between him, Deonte Banks, and Adoree Jackson. I feel like there's something I'm forgetting here, like an obvious, oh yeah, we should have gone with that, but until I remember, that's gonna be the pick here. So I feel pretty decent about that. Now the Colts here at number 21. Let's just keep Kwity Paye. There isn't another I feel like there's a pass rusher I'm forgetting about in this class. Just a little 4th wall break here. How I do this is I make like a little, I do this right here. I make a whole list of my like Madden ratings for all of these players, and I just go down the list and say, which ones would be the best? And obviously take like scheme and everything into account, and just if they have like positional flexibility based off where they would play them. But I feel like, god, if I could get this off the screen, there we go. I feel like there's a pass rusher I'm forgetting, but apparently not. Romeo McKnight, I forgot about him. That's such a cool name. But we'll just go with Kwity Paye. I was a very big Azeez Ojulari fan. He hasn't really been great in the NFL, obviously, but anyways, Kwity Paye is the pick here. Gonna stay the same to the Colts, so I guess they did make the right pick. I mean, there were obviously other players that went later that they could have taken, but for this one, this is the good pick. The right pick, in my opinion. Now, the Titans at number 22. Something I'm not proud about is I thought Caleb Farley would be very good. He's another player like Jalen Phillips, where they had very big injury concerns, but they were so good in college when healthy. Caleb Farley is unfortunately the other side of that story, where he has been terrible in the NFL. Health has been like kind of a concern, but he's just been straight up awful even when he's been on the field. So safe to say he's not going to be the pick here. God, this offensive line is some hot ass. It's so bad. I think this and the Cardinals defensive line might be the 2 worst position groups in the NFL, or the Cardinals corner group. I don't feel very good about the Cardinals. Are they unironically going to be starting Jack Gibbons over Monty Rice? I would fucking throw hands with them. I feel bad for still having Pat Freiermuth on the board though, but like I like Chigo Okonkwo a lot, so we're not really gonna take him here. You know, Tevin Jenkins has been getting passed around like a goddamn blunt on the Bears offensive line, but he's been pretty good at guard, so let's take him here to the Titans at number 22. Could also go like, I don't know who else, honestly. There isn't really much else of a clear option there. I did like Rashad Bateman a lot in this class, so maybe you hope he hits his upside here, but I guess it's kind of the same deal, not a very pass-heavy offense in the Titans. Same thing with the Ravens where he's at, so like, Yeah, so pretty much offensive line. Could also go AVT, I guess. Could go Landon Dickerson, but we're going to go with Tevin Jenkins. But here to the Vikings at number 23, I think this is where they got Christian Darrisaw, so they are getting very screwed over here. I feel like I had mostly good takes in this class because I also thought that was a steal, and it definitely has been a steal at number 23. He's been amazing. What isn't amazing is that they lose him here. They also do lose Khyiris Tonga, I think he was in this class, and Cam Bynum, I guess, but they also have Lewis Seen, who maybe will be good. Josh Metellus is solid. Well, he wouldn't be a good free safety, but still. I think we're pretty much forced into taking Elijah Vera Tucker here just because that is such a big gap on the offensive line now. I mean, Brian O'Neill is now the only offensive lineman I feel really good about there. I feel pretty good about Ezra Cleveland too. Actually, I do kind of like Ezra Cleveland more as a tackle, so maybe you move him out to left tackle and then just keep Elijah Vera Tucker at like right guard and then start Chris Reed at left guard. That actually makes it still a pretty good offensive line in my opinion. You could also move Elijah Vera Tucker to tackle if you wanted to, but yeah, there are a number of different things you could do there that would work, so that adds a lot of flexibility and definitely fills a need, we'll say that. Now the Steelers at number 24. Finally, oh, you know what? There are a couple different things. Ooh, they actually lose some starters from this class. Dan Moore, Pat Freiermuth, Najee Harris. Oh, that's not great. That's really not great. You have Broderick Jones. I wouldn't want to start him immediately, but you're probably going to have to here. In Najee, I mean, you can maybe find a different running back. Najee hasn't been like great in the NFL so far, so let's just keep Pat Freiermuth. Definitely shouldn't have fallen this far, but just for where, you know, these other teams had needs. Tight end wasn't really like the biggest. Tight end isn't the most valuable position in the NFL, so I mean it's valuable, but like it's probably bottom 5 for most valuable positions, but he's a very good tight end, so he's going to be the pick here. Let me list some of the best players we still have available. Actually, I'll just show it. Trey Lance, I guess. We still have Najee Harris and Javonte Williams, Travis Etienne too. The receivers are fine. Probably no one else going to go in the first tier. Landon Dickerson, I feel bad about not going yet. AVT's gone. Quinn Miners, Sam Cosmi, Christian Barmore. I have him rated kind of low. I might change his rating in my roster. Nick Bolton, JOK, Greg Newsome, Nate Hobbs, Asante Samuel, Talanoa Hufanga. There are definitely some good players left. Now to the Jags at number 25. I'm going to give an interesting situation here. Travis Etienne has been good. He was good this last year, but they were in no situation in a position to draft a running back in the first round. This team was not good, and their first actual pick for this team was a running back. I mean, Trevor Lawrence was their first ever pick technically, but that was a no-brainer. If they didn't make that pick, they would have been beyond stupid, but I just did not like the Travis Etienne pick. He's been good, and I knew he would be. It's just positional value, dog. What are we doing? Plus, they have 3 other good running backs now. They had James Robinson at the time who fell off, but maybe wouldn't have if they just kept him going, and I don't know. So we're not going to retake him here. Let's go with Greg Newsome. They obviously lose Tyson Campbell, who was a really good pick in the second round. I liked that pick. I don't know why I'm, flexing so much. Oh, I liked this pick a lot and he's been good. I guess I was just kind of right about some of the players in this class. I don't know. But they obviously can't pick pick him here. I think we took him to the Giants, so we're going to go with Greg Newsome. Not too bad of a compromise. Greg Newsome has been really good too, so we'll take him here. Could also go like Landon Dickerson because his interior is not good other than Brandon Sheriff, but Newsome will be the pick there. Now the Browns at number 26. Did they take Greg Newsome with this pick, or who did they take? Because I kind of thought Newsome was a second round pick, but maybe not. No, I think JOK was a second round pick. Newsome might have been their first. Let's just take Trey Lance and hope they don't trade for Deshaun Watson. Now, I mean, we could do that, but like, that just makes it complicated like I was saying earlier. They lose Elijah Moore. Obviously, they didn't take him, but, you know, he is available in this draft, so you can't keep him. They lose JOK, and they've already lost Greg Newsome just one pick before, so, you know, I don't really know what to do here. I liked the undrafted pickup of Cameron Mitchell, so I actually feel good about him just replacing Greg Newsome in the nickel and being at least pretty good. I mean, rookie corners are never all that good, but still. This is gonna be, I think, the rare time where I'm gonna pick linebacker round 1. Let's go with Nick Bolton. I actually didn't like him that much coming out of college. He's definitely turned into a very good player for the Chiefs. At least this last year he really broke out. Could also just straight up go Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah, but like Bolton's a little better for sure, so he's gonna be the pick here. Now the Ravens at 27, I think this is where they took Rashad Bateman, and he really hasn't been very good for them. He's been fine, but he's also been injured. They also took Odafe Oweh, who wasn't very good for them last year. I liked both of their early picks, but neither of them have panned out. You know, they have Devin Duvernay, who was good last year. They have Nelson Aguilar, who can play, I guess. Definitely past his prime, though, and even then his prime wasn't, like, amazing. It was, like, good. But he's fine. And with Odafe Oweh, you have David Ojabo to step in and hopefully be good. Let's go with Landon Dickerson, finally. I really liked him coming out of Alabama. I thought he was, like, close to Creed Humphrey. I would have been fine with, like, either if I saw either of them get taken, but Humphrey's definitely been better. Now, last year, Dickerson was very good, finally getting, like, an opportunity, so maybe he'll reach close-ish to that level. We'll see. So that would be a very good pick here for the Ravens, especially considering, you know, Kevin Zeitler's age and just the lack of really much there. Oh, I guess they do have Andrew Voorhees, so maybe in the future, Voorhees and Dickerson could be a really good duo. We'll see. Could also go Nate Hobbs there if you really wanted to. I don't love Arthur Maulet, but they did kind of play like Kyle Hamilton there. But anyways, the Saints at number 28. There are a few options we could go with here. We could go Asante Samuel Jr. We could go Christian Barmore, even a receiver. We could even go Trey Lance if we wanted to take a chance there. Take a chance on Lance. I would say maybe tight end, but the best one I have available is Kylan Granson, and he would be like the 5th tight end here maybe. So I don't know about that. I did really like Brevin Jordan, but God, he has been not good. Let's just go with Christian Barmore here. He's been good for the Patriots. Wasn't quite as good this last year, but could be a big breakout year for him. I do like him for sure. And their interior D-line isn't like great. I mean, it's fine. It'll get by, and I think Brzee could be a really good player in the future. Doesn't really have anyone amazing here to learn from, but still, I do think he could work out. But Christian Barmore is going to be the pick here. And then the Packers at number 29 coming down to the end here. I do feel pretty good about their receiving core. I know it's not like amazing on paper yet, but I like the upside of Romeo Doubs. I like the upside of Christian Watson. I like Jaden Reed. I like Dontavian Wick. I even like Bo Melton. The upside of him, maybe Samori Toure even. Like, there's a lot of upside here. Is it proven at all? Not really, outside of Christian Watson. Even then, he isn't like the most proven, but I feel solid about it. So let's actually go with Quinn Miners here. Keep him in Wisconsin. I hated the Josh Myers pick. They took him over Creed Humphrey, I'm pretty sure. I hated that. So we're gonna make things at least a little better here and go with Quinn Miners. Now the Bills here at number 30, we're kind of running out of talent in this class a little bit. At least like true first round talent. But let's go with Sam Cosmi here. We're gonna play him at right tackle for the Bills. Should be good, we'll see. There are a lot lot of players here that I still liked at tackle that just didn't work out. I mean, I liked Dylan Raduns at tackle, has not worked out. He's been playing guard. Jalen Mayfield, I liked at tackle. He's been playing guard. Liam Eichenberg, I liked at tackle. He's been playing guard. Brady Christensen, I liked at tackle. He's been playing guard. Walker Little, I liked, hasn't been getting an opportunity. Why have so many of these guys been moved to guard? None of them have been nearly as good as I thought they would be because they've been at guard. I don't know why that happens so much in this class, but dude. But for the Ravens, back here on the clock at number 31. That's such a weird Chargers logo they have right there. It's like transparent. I don't know. Either way. I mean, is the Vikings logo flipped there? Or am I crazy? No, is that the way it normally goes? What's wrong with it? That also looks weird. Anyways, let's go with, if I can find him, Nate Hobbs to be their nickel corner. He's been a really good nickel for the Raiders for the past couple years now. So now they'll have, I guess, 2 former Raiders in him and Rocky Scene at corner. And that's a pretty solid group now. And then finally, the last pick here, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I believe this was Joe Tryon, who could be a breakout this year, but hasn't been very good so far in the NFL. So we're gonna do something fun here, I think, just to end it off with a bang, end it off with a really fun pick. Are we gonna do that? Yeah, I think we are. Let's go with Trey Lance to the Buccaneers and hope that he can A, stay healthy, and B, actually develop here. Not that I hate Baker, I believe in Baker for sure, but Lance has more upside and Baker hasn't been very good for the past couple years. I mean, he was injured and wanted to play for the Browns, didn't go very well, and then was pretty terrible, not terrible, but wasn't very good on a terrible Rams team, I should say. So we're gonna hope that Trey Lance can end up being the way to go here. But that's gonna be the end of today's video. I really hope y'all enjoyed. Again, 200 likes, 1,000 subscribers, and we'll get some special videos going on this channel. I'm glad y'all have been enjoying the stuff over here as well as on the main channel. I love making these videos, so I'm glad y'all enjoy them. But let me know down below, again, any video ideas you might have, and turn on notifications if you want to get notified whenever I upload here, because my schedule's kind of random on the second channel, obviously. But again, thank you all so much for watching, and with that, I'll see y'all again in the next video. Goodbye.